Today, I'm going to be talking about the number one mistake I see breweries making, and it's costing thousands of dollars in sales. And the breweries that are closing, odds are this is the reason. It's all tied to an old habit, or you could say a reliance on what used to be effective. We're going to talk about the biggest change in the craft brewery industry, and it's not tied to rising costs or the cost of doing business. In fact, it's directly related to something most of us have on our desks. It's tied to the pricing of your beer and how you present your products to your customers. The principle is price elasticity. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a rubber band. Without price elasticity, you're destined to struggle to keep your head above water. But with price elasticity, the ceiling for what you can charge for a pint of beer becomes massively higher. We're going to go through three things. The change that's happened that's preventing you from having price elasticity now, and in fact, you might have had it in the past. We're also then going to dive into the difference between a product that has price elasticity and one that doesn't. And we'll talk about ways to put price elasticity into your business. This shift will be a complete game changer for you and your brewery. Let's dive in. First of all, the shift that's happened in your business, why you probably don't have the type of price elasticity you may have had in the past, is because the industry itself, from a customer standpoint, has evolved and changed. It used to be having a craft beer was something new and different. It was a really unique experience, and folks were looking for new and different ways to try different things. I mean, think about it. Some folks, there was a time they didn't even know what an IPA was. Now they've had so many IPAs, many people in the marketplace are turning against that. In the past, there was a large group of people who going out and finding a new craft brewery and sampling what you had was a really exciting and different experience for them. Now, listen, that's something I still love to do, but you do have to recognize that there's a diminishing return for folks. When you've walked into your third or fourth different craft brewery, there's an excitement level that's not there if you've been to 50 or 60 of them. And in addition to excitement not being there, if you're walking into the same craft brewery time after time after time, the excitement level's just not going to be there. That's just human nature. We have to recognize that and appreciate that we really can't alter that. But what we have to do is alter things to reduce that complacency, that ordinariness that now is present within the craft brewery business. Before we dive into that next concept, what I want to talk to you about is the marketing, because at the end of the day, we are talking about marketing. And I've created a complete marketing guide for craft brewers, and right now put marketing down there in the comments, and I'll make sure you get a copy of this, and it'll help your business grow and thrive. Next, let's talk about the fact that when you have price elasticity, the product and the pricing don't have to be equal. And this is where you need to position your beer and your business as a whole. Now, what that means is think about something like a pair of gym equipment. That gray pair of sweatpants that you can get for maybe $5, $10. Now, other folks, they've got to wear Lululemon pants for $80, $100, $200 pants. I don't know exactly how much they are because, trust me, I'm a gray sweatpants guy. A pair of shorts, that's it when I'm working out. But you get my point. People want much, much more because let's be honest, in both of the scenarios, the gray sweatpants and the Lululemon leggings, of course, they changed the name, see what they're doing here. They both accomplish the same thing. They allow you to cover yourself up and be able to lift and work out. Listen, I was an athlete and worked out in gray sweatpants, and I was able to do a lot of physical activity in them. The gray sweatpants is not holding you back from getting in shape or reaching your fitness goals. But we have this perceived image that the other equipment, the Lululemon pants, are going to somehow get you to a place that maybe the gray sweatpants aren't. That industry, the Lululemon, has created price elasticity for themselves. That's why they can price themselves the way they do. The auto industry gives us another example of price elasticity. I mean, you can have a base model Nissan Sentra, and you can also have a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley. Now, both of those cars will do the exact same thing. They'll get you from point A to point B. But you could probably buy 10 or 15, maybe 20 Nissan Sentras for the price of one Bentley or Rolls Royce. You see, Bentley and Rolls Royce have created price elasticity based on how they've positioned their brand, what they've done within their brand, what they do within their cars to allow them to price themselves far above what a typical car would cost. This price elasticity can be put into your business. Now let's talk about the difference between the two things. One is a utility and the other is a concept. That Nissan Sentra, that's a utility. It takes me from A to B. The Bentley or the Rolls Royce, that's a concept. The concept of I've established a certain level of wealth and prestige, that I'm someone of a certain level. I travel in certain circles that allow me to have that type of money to spend on what is a basic utility, a car, getting me from point A to point B. So if you want to put price elasticity in your business, you need to move from a utility, which is now where craft beer is, because folks have experienced what we have in the industry. Folks are familiar with it. Now it's just down to, for some folks, it's another decent cold beer. And if that's all that you can present people who walk into the door or take your product off the shelves, what's going to happen is you're always going to be struggling against the fact that you don't have price elasticity. So what's really going to happen if you don't make this change from utility to concept is you're going to only be able to make a few cents on any pint that you sell. And in turn, anything that goes wrong in the industry, whether tariffs produce costs that go up, you have equipment that fails, you have problems with your landlord, you have situations within your brewery. In other words, anything that goes wrong within your business, if that happens, and let's be honest, it's going to happen, you now don't have the revenue on each and every pint to be able to cover yourselves. And that's why so many craft breweries, unfortunately, are facing difficulties, if not disappearing completely. So let's talk next about how we take ourselves from beer as a utility to this concept. What we need to do is have quality with an experience that will equal the price elasticity that we're talking about and allow you to generate revenues, which will allow your business to succeed. Now, how do you do that? Let's talk about this concept. If you are producing IPAs, we were talking about that earlier, they're run of the mill. And if all people view you and your beer as a cold IPA, you've got no price elasticity. But now, how do you take that and shift it to a concept? Well, it's not an IPA. It's a handcrafted, small batch New England IPA that's served in a Vermont-inspired rustic chateau. You see what we've just done there? The first situation, cold IPA, utility. The handcrafted small batch served in that Vermont rustic chateau, that's an experience. Now, quality always has to enter into it, because if you had a terrible beer served in a fantastic surrounding, you're still going to have issues and problems. So let's assume, number one, you've got the quality thing down. So let's focus in on everything around it. It can be tied to situations like service. Do you want to be recognized as a place that goes above and beyond service, providing service that no one would be able to rival? Do you want to maybe invest and tweak what you have as far as your facilities, i.e. that Vermont-inspired rustic chateau that will allow folks to be able to enjoy your beer in a situation that's unique and special? Let's use Treehouse as an example. If you've not yet been there, they've got now multiple locations here on the East Coast. But their main facility, a buddy of mine, we joke around about, it's like the Disneyland of craft breweries. Now, Disneyland is a perfect example to fit into this. They don't have the price elasticity that craft breweries have within just miles around them because of what they've created from their facility standpoint. It's that same concept that Disney has done. Disney, even close to Disney, there are places that can offer some rides and some various entertainment. But Disney has an experience that's so unique and it's such a one off that they have a massive amount of price elasticity when it comes to the prices they can charge for folks to walk into one of their parks. So that's where you need to move your brewery to. It can be everything tied to whether we're talking about the type of service that you offer, perhaps creating certain VIP opportunities where people will get something super special, think that Bentley Rolls-Royce by joining in and will be happy to pay more because it allows them to be special and unique. Or it could be tied to a situation where people who are enjoying your product on site are getting such a fantastic experience, whether it be food, the ambiance, the location, whatever things you can put together. But if you can put that experience with your product, what's going to happen is you no longer are being constrained by price elasticity, and now you can move your business to a much better situation. Now, at the heart of this is branding. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to watch this video right here, because once you've decided what it is that you want to kind of do to create that experience, you got to get that message across to folks so they understand why they want to have that experience. And that's tied into your branding. So I'll see you over here. Watch this video right now because I want you to get these concepts together, because you've got to make a shift in your business. But here's the thing. Once you do it, everything about your revenue is going to go in the positive direction. So I'll see you over there in that video.